Kathleen Wynne and Minister Gravel. I'd also like to say welcome to all the guests that are here, and there's many people that I have not seen here before, but welcome to Moosonee. And I'm just going to take a short message here, and then we'll turn over to the Premier. But as all of you have noticed, there's been many improvements in the last year and a half. For example, if you look at the base where we're doing the water and sewer projects, well, the town of Moosonee can't do this on their own. We're a small northern community with low tax base, and we rely a lot on the funding from the government. Now, I've met with many ministers through the last year and a half with my council to discuss issues, concerns, and projects that we'd like to see done in Moosonee. For example, the public docks. We would not have them in if it wasn't for the Liberal government supporting us. Now, the Liberal government does not forget the North, as you can see, because Premier Wynne has been here twice before that I know of. And when she was a minister, the most recent time was a Minister of Education. And there were some young people here who were just talking to me, and they were saying, is this a nice lady that came and read a book to us up here? So, Premier, you're known in Moosonee. With that, I would like to introduce Kathleen Wynne, the Premier of Ontario, but a little bit about her first. She's a mother of three, grandmother of three. Kathleen enjoys the outdoors, is a great canoeist, and I feel she's always been part of the North. So with that, I would like to introduce to you the Premier of Ontario, the Right Honourable Kathleen Wynne. Thank you, Premier.
Much, Your Worship, and it's really a pleasure to be here with everyone. Bonjour, bonjour, Annie, and thank you all for coming out today. And I want to begin by showing respect for the history and contributions of Indigenous peoples in Ontario, and acknowledge that we're gathered on the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe and Cree peoples in the Treaty 9 area, and give special acknowledgement to the neighboring communities of Fort Albany, Kasheshuan, and Moose Factory. And I want to just acknowledge I'm here with my colleague Michael Gravel, who's the Minister of Northern Development and Mines, and it is a real pleasure to be back in Moosonee. You know, I came as the Minister of Education, as Wayne said, and I had the opportunity to visit schools, and at that point we were looking at the imaginary library, the Dolly Parton project that was being implemented. But since then I've been the Minister of Transportation, and I've been the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Minister of Aboriginal Affairs. And when we have had conversations among my colleagues about Moosonee and the particular and unique circumstances of Moosonee and Moose Factory, I've made it clear to my ministers that I want us to respond to the real needs of the community, that we can have a policy in downtown Toronto, but you have to come here to see what's actually needed. And so that's why, Mr. Mayor, you are seeing the investments that you're seeing, because we recognize that there are particular challenges and opportunities here in Moosonee that are not the same as other parts of the province. So I just want you to know that. And I guess the other little personal thing is that my grandbaby's father comes from this part of the country, and in fact, Shirley Wesley, I didn't know if she might be here today, but Shirley Wesley is their great aunt, and the Wesley family has started up the James Bay coast, and so I have a particular place in my heart for this part of Ontario. So Chimigwech, thank you so much, everyone, for coming out. So this is my 6th day in a week-long trip that I'm making to about 18 communities in the north. And so we started in Sudbury, and we went across to the northwest, and then we're coming up to Moosonee. I'm going to visit Moose Factory, and then we're going back down to North Bay and New Liskeard and Kirkland Lake. And it was very important to me to have the opportunity to see you all and to be here today. Meeting people in different parts of the province it's a great part of my job, because when I'm sitting in meetings where we're making decisions about funding, about policies, if I can see a place in my mind's eye, then I know that we're going to make a better decision. And if I've had the opportunity to talk to people where they live and where they work, I have a better idea of what's needed. So that first-hand experience is important, and it ensures that I never lose sight of the fact that it is my responsibility to make sure that every part of this province, every region, every corner of this province is respected and is thought of as we make decisions at Queen's Park. And so that's what our government is doing in Northern Ontario. We're working with partners across the north to build on the strength of this fantastic area, this fantastic part of the province. You know, there's a party right now that's popped up, the Northern Ontario Party, that suggests that maybe Northern Ontario should separate from Southern Ontario. I think that's a really bad idea. I think that we are better off working together. We're better off sharing our wealth, because there is wealth in the north, there is wealth in the south, and we're stronger if we're all working together. If we're going to support a diverse, competitive economy and modern infrastructure, all the things that the mayor was talking about are infrastructure investments, then working together is absolutely crucial. We understand as a government that strong communities, if we don't have strong communities, we don't have a strong province. So that's what it's all about. So 2 years ago, we introduced the Ontario Community Infrastructure Fund, or OCIF it's called. And what municipal leaders like your mayor told us and your former mayor told us was that they needed stable, long-term, predictable money to invest in things like roads and bridges and water systems. They needed those infrastructure dollars that they could count on. And so we listened to that. The program is off to a great start. We're investing in those kinds of projects, bridges and water and sewer systems in hundreds of communities across the province. Now you can imagine that a sewer system is not something that a politician necessarily every day gets to cut a ribbon on, nor is it something that makes a headline in the newspaper, brand new sewer system in whatever community, Moosonee or Scarborough. That's not necessarily where politicians want to invest money, because it's not the sexy kind of infrastructure that gets those headlines. But it is absolutely fundamental and necessary to our quality of life. And that brings me to why I'm here today. And I'm very happy to announce that we're providing Moosonee with up to $1.5 million to help the town improve its water supply by replacing critical infrastructure. So my understanding is that this investment will help Moosonee replace water mains and sanitary sewer mains along Ferguson Road. And as I said, this is the kind of investment that's absolutely necessary to your community's quality of life. And when we think of public infrastructure, the first things that usually do come to mind are roads and bridges and schools and hospitals, and they're essential. But other things like water, wastewater treatment plants, those are the behind-the-scenes supports that have a great impact on our lives. So support for the kind of project I'm announcing today is making a real difference to the quality of life in communities across the province. And so what we are doing, having listened to the municipal leaders, is we are actually tripling that fund that I talked about. It's going to be from $100 million in 2015-16. By 2018-19, it'll be $300 million. So every year, communities across the province will be able to count on a proportion of that $300 million for their infrastructure. And they'll also be able to apply for projects on top of that fund that they get annually. So I look forward to continuing to work with the town of Moosonee and with all of our municipal partners across Ontario. I look forward to having a bit of a chance to talk with you. I'll be meeting with the mayor and some of the councillors to hear about your concerns. But if there's one message that I can leave you with, it is that when I am sitting, some of you have said, you know, I see you on TV. Well, I want you to know that when I am sitting at the cabinet table or I am sitting at the caucus table with my colleagues, that I know where Moosonee is. I think about the needs of communities in the north, and I try very hard. We have 4 ministers who are from the north, and I try very hard. We don't always get it right,